those are obviously 0. This top level, this term of length 0 obviously appears in the top level, and when you see a dot, that means that level of that representation cannot appear in that level of the Jantzen filtration for parity and or order reasons. So, for example, these guys of length 3, by parity, they could be appearing at length depth 1 or depth 3. And so I put zeros here to indicate that those are zeros, but they didn't have to be. They could have been non-zero. And so there's a parity thing here, which is if something is the length difference from the top is even, then they're all appearing in these levels, and if it's odd, it's appearing in those. And this isn't that interesting example because there aren't any Q's. So let's do another example where we get to see some Q's. Maybe we should do a smaller example where we get to see some Q's. Nope, it's only small. U22? There we go. Okay. So this is the trivial representation that occurs in the top level. And then there are these 3 things with coefficients 1 that appear down 1 level, and then some more down another level, and then one multiplicity 2. And then these are the next level, and they're just progressing normally. Aha! Here's the first time something happens. This representation being, the length difference being 4, its natural place would be right at that 0. But it's because it's Q, it's bumped up by 2. And that's what David was saying about the Q to the 1/2 business. Anyway, and for every higher power of Q here, it moves up from the level that you expected it. So these 3, this one's at the natural level, this one's up, and that one's at the natural level. Pretty nice picture, it tells you a lot. So what I want is a 1 plus Q.
Can you scroll up?
Scroll up? Yes. So let's do, this occasionally happens that my mouse gets hijacked by a different window. There we go. Is that too small to read? So there's a 1 plus Q. So the length difference is 4, so the default depth is on level 4 of the Jantzen filtration, and it's 1 plus Q. So one of them is appearing at that depth, and the other one's appearing there. And so as David was saying, if you plug in Q is equal to 1, it says that this irreducible composition factor has multiplicity 2. And the fact that the polynomial is 1 plus Q is telling you finer information. It's telling you what levels of the Jantzen filtration it occurs in.
So how do you come up with this? So obviously if you set it to different level of filtration, that you have to work on this.
I'm sorry, say it again?
How do you multiplicity?
Well, the multiplicity is you just say Q is equal to 1. So the chi-symbolic polynomials, when you evaluate them at Q equals 1, gives the multiplicity. So this irreducible has multiplicity 2. But the fact that the polynomial is 1 plus Q is saying that the 2 occurrences of that irreducible are at different levels of the Jantzen filtration.
Can you say again something? The terms polynomials are either the standard terms of the irreducible?
Yeah, so let me write it down here. So it's the Q polynomials we're talking about here. Q of P R at q is equal to 1 is the multiplicity of j of p in I of q.
R.
I of R. Thank you. PQ of P are the coefficient of Q to the K is the multiplicity of J of P in level default plus 2K.
Minus 2K.
Sorry, minus 2K, thank you. Of I of R.
So you're saying the derivative of the Jantzen polynomials are multiplicities of the different levels.
Yep.
And how do, and can you translate atlas to this?
Yeah. So in this example, there's 1 plus q here, for example. The length. So what's the formula? The default. The default level must be length of p minus length of r minus 1 over 2.
No, it's just length of R minus length of P.
That's what I said. So this, let's look at this one, for example. The Kaiser-Lewis polynomial is 1, and the length difference is 3. So that says that this irreducible is occurring at level 3 of the Jantzen filtration, level 0, 1, 2, 3.
So whenever it is 1, the standard irreducible is the same.
I'm sorry, what?
Whenever you see 1, it's
No. These are all irreducibles.
Yes.
And this table is giving you the multiplicities of all of these different j of p's in this single I of R. We have a single standard module which has 23 or so, 24 irreducible factors.
You specify in the command?
Yeah, that's because it's the grade. So this is, what's the group? SL4C. So SL4C, if you take P is the trivial parameter.
R.
Thank you. Yeah, R is the trivial parameter. Then the standard module R is equal to summation. I is equal to 0 to 24 of a bunch of J's. With multiplicity 1. Not with multiplicity 1. With some constant A, I in front. So this reduces, the standard module has 24 irreducible factors. This representation right here is the trivial representation. That's occurring at the very top level of the filtration. If you take this module and you modulate by everything except for the top level, you get the trivial. And then there are 3 other irreducibles which are appearing at the next level. And then 3, 4, 5 others at the next level, and so on. And
actually 6 at the next level. Those 5 and then the extra one.
Oh yes, good point. I missed that. That's right. And the interesting thing here, actually, maybe it's worth saying, print composition series of trivial of SL4C. So this is just a composition series. It says there are a bunch of things with multiplicity 1, but there are 2 with multiplicity 2. And those 2 with multiplicity 2, those 2 with multiplicity 2 are these 2 terms with the 1 plus q. I'm telling you, I didn't understand the Jantzen filtration until I looked at some of these
No,
examples.
he tells you that this reducibility sits in two different levels of the filtration.
Exactly.
Do you know that?
Exactly. And this guy right here, where the length difference is 6, if the polynomial was,
If it was q squared,
cubed,
well, go ahead.
if this polynomial was q cubed, oh no, it couldn't be q cubed, q
So-
squared, right?
Yeah, no, that's a nice point. Those zeros you have in the first column is the Langland's quotient. And so none of these other composition factors
Right.
is allowed to appear there. Those zeros are really forced. In terms of the polynomials, occurrence in degree 0, that means that that's the coefficient of the Cauchy-Lustig polynomial in degree the length difference divided by 2. And one of the properties of Cauchy-Lustig polynomials is that the degree is strictly smaller than the length difference divided by 2. So except for the diagonal case. I mean, you're allowed to have q to the 0 and
P not equal to R implies the degree of P or Q of PR is less than or equal to the degree of P minus the degree, other way?
length.
Sorry,
Length of R
length.
minus the length of P.
Length of R, right?
Yeah.
Length of R minus length of P minus 1 over 2,
Yeah.
which is strictly less than length of R minus length of P over 2.
Yeah, so those zeros in the first column are this degree bound on the Cauchy-Lustig.
So they should really be dots.
They should really be dots, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the
A dot means that for trivial reasons, that number is 0. So for example, this thing which has, where the length difference is 1, you know that the only places it can occur are in odd levels of the Jantzen filtration, 1 or 3 or 5. So it can't possibly occur in level 0, actually nothing else can, but also it can't occur in level 3 either because of this length thing. So this thing, you know, the only place it could occur is here. This is a slightly different example. This is a better example. The fact that this number is 1 says that it's occurring at this level of the Jantzen filtration. If this number was Q, it would be here. And that's possible. So the fact that that's 0 is saying that it's not 0 for obvious reasons. It's 0 because the coefficient of Q is 0.
What would Q squared be?
So Q squared, this guy, if this polynomial was Q squared, the 1 would be here. 2 levels up from where you expected to see it. If it was Q, it would be here. If it was Q squared, it would be there.
And Q cubed is illegal because the length difference is 6, and the degree has to be strictly less than 6 over 2.
Pardon me? Well, this isn't useful.
No, it's scroll down, so.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what is that?
So there's a notion of length of a parameter, and I can, well, I probably can't give the definition, but there is a notion of length, and the first column is the length of these parameters, and the second column is the length difference from the top, and so the trivial representation has length 6, and one of the properties of length is that J of P occurs in the composition series of I of R implies length of P is less than or equal to length of R, and it's strictly less than unless P equals R.
For complex groups, the parameters at rho are indexed by the Weil group, and length is the length in the Weil group. So this last row is the long element of S4, which has length 6, the number of positive roots for SL4.
This is awesome.
Hate it? I love this output.
So, Mark, I hope you're impressed with the way those columns line up. Now, the thing I'm really worried about is if any of these multiplicities were greater than were 2 digits, I'd be sunk.
Thank heavens we're using base 10.
Is there another small or medium-sized example that we're doing?
Let's see, I was just doing KL list, and I found that for what was the group? SP6, you've got a Kazan-Lustig polynomial, which was Q squared plus Q.
Sorry, what group?
SP6.
So the trivial?
Yeah, so that's going to require some delicate sizing and scrolling.
Not too bad.
Not so bad.
Okay, yeah, so there's some more interesting polynomials. So, for example, there's a Q squared. So that says that rather than appearing at level 6, it's 2 levels up. And this 2Q, it says that it's a 2, and it's 1 level up, and so on. SP6R.
Can you command to see each Jantzen quotient separately and regular form? Is there a different sign?
No. Now, one very interesting question is this, for example, is the composition series of the trivial the standard module for which is unique, where the quotient is the trivial. Let me do a smaller one so it's all in one screen. This is the Jantzen filtration for the trivial representation of SP4R. So the trivial occurs in the top level of the Jantzen filtration, and the 2 large discrete series are occurring as the sub. So the socle of this module is the direct sum of the 2 discrete series. And yeah, go ahead.
The thesis who has a regional model can appear.
Yes.
Not relevant to last.
Sorry. So these are the discrete series with the Whittaker model.
Yes, but
And you're asking if they could appear in a higher level?
yes.
And the answer is no.
Why?
Must be in that paper of Costa. That's a really interesting question. Can we scroll back up to the SP6 example and look at the last column of the Jantzen filtration? So there again, the first 8 rows are the 8 discrete series, and only 2 of them are allowed to appear as quotients of this. Sorry, a submodule.
Wait. This is a large discrete series.
Yes.
And it's
Sorry, which one is the largest?
Isn't it 0 and 1?
Only one.
No, there's 2, 0 and 1.
No, 0 and 4.
I think it's
0 and 4?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They have to be have the same behavior.
They have to have what?
They differ by an outer automorphism of SP6.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you're right. So the two large discrete series are occurring as the subs, and other discrete series are allowed to occur higher up. But I don't know why that's true. Go ahead. Always meaning in what?
That if you take any quasi-split group and look at this principal series where the trivial is a quotient, whether the multiplicity of the submodules is always one, that it's just the, I think what the statement that I think is true is that it's just the representations with Whittaker models that can be submodules of this. So can you change the parameter, change the lambda, keeping nu the same?
Sure, why not?
So the last column tells you these are the actual submodules?
Actual subs, exactly.
This time, though, the last column will probably be all zeros. And so...
So let's add 001 to it, maybe?
Sure.
No discrete series.
And yet...
Oh wait, is 12? No, I'm sorry. How many discrete series does this group have? 8.
but we're in a different block.
Oh.
Yeah, because you
they're
chose
out, yeah.
an odd weight to add, so you changed the central character.
Yeah.
So well, no, it's good.
Can you remind us how to pick out discrete series?
Well, it's not obvious from this output. It's just that I remember that SP6 has 8 discrete series, and they're labeled, the X is labeled 0 through 8, and
0 through
12.
7.
0 through 7,
Yeah.
and approximately 8, and this is starting at 12. But if you wanted to, actually, that's not a bad thing to do. Let's set C. Oh wait, I have to change our back. Let's set CS to be the composition series of R. And let's set A is equal to the last param. So this is this parameter that you're interested in, and set PQ or PL be the cuspidal data of A, and let's look at the levy of P. So this tells you that this representation is induced from a discrete series or limit on the levy factor SP4 cross GL1.
And I'll bet that if we looked at, we would find that it was the large discrete series, and that it's irreducible, and that, so it has a Whittaker model. That's the.
Yeah. So this is the parameter on L, and it's the large discrete series because X is equal to 0. So are all of these induced from large discrete series on their L's?
That's the claim. I'd forgotten all about this from the core, but I think that's correct. It's wonderful. So I'm confused. I'm confused about, well, see, we're looking at the trivial representation, which has to do with this KGB orbit, well, which is open, so the closure is the whole G mod B, which is smooth, and so there's no singularity theory. So all the P polynomials are one, but these are Q polynomials, and they're interesting. So they're
What's this representation R?
Okay. Well.
Oh, no,
So,
the original
so
was
this
P.
one, things have changed, but
So should I do P?
P was the trivial.
No, not gonna get it. Let's try R. Those are the P polynomials for R. So those aren't all one, but that's not what you were saying. For P, they're all one.
Well, I mean, what he was saying about the occurrence of the large discrete series here, that's some non-trivial statement about these casuistic polynomials. And it'd be entertaining to understand what well, I mean, first the fact that you get ones from the large discrete series, but also the fact that you're getting zeros this top level from everything else. That's
Oops. Huh. So the comment I started to make was that so this is the this is too big. It's trivial of SP for let's do a smaller example. With this choice of a Borel, this representation has a unique irreducible quotient and two subs. If you chose the opposite Borel, it would be the opposite. It would have a unique irreducible sub as the trivial and two irreducible quotients. But as far as I know, there's no algorithm for computing the composition series in the middle. If when you go from the positive Borel to the negative Borel, there's a bunch of Borels in between, and I don't know of an algorithm to compute what the corresponding composition series are in between. The factors are all the same, of course, but the orders in the filtration, I don't know how to do that.
There could be different paths from the positive to the negative.
Of course, yes. So, for example, if you apply S alpha, what if you cross one wall? What does it do to these things? Roughly speaking, it moves the one down and it moves some other things up. But I don't,
Just to make sure I understood what you were saying, you take a standard module where the A parameter is so that the alignments is a quotient, and now you're taking the same standard but with the opposite. Yeah, okay. And you want to know what the filtration looks like.
Exactly. The question is, well, let's just say you do induced from D up to G of 1 tensor rho tensor 1, and this has the trivial as the unique irreducible quotients. If I put 1 tensor minus rho, W naught rho?
minus rho is W naught.
Is W naught rho, right? Yeah, exactly. Thank you. This would have the trivial as the unique irreducible sub, but if you chose some other induced, so let me call this W naught rho. If you did induce one tensor W rho tensor 1, this has the same irreducible composition factors, but in what? In what order? In the filtration, in the associated, in what order?
That doesn't have anything to do with the entirety? Does it change?
No, nothing directly to do with unitarity.
So when you change the Borel and everything, you don't change signatures?
I'm not sure, actually. David?
Not a clue. The only thing I'd say, this W0 row setting, if you put a generic, I mean, there's again a family of Hermitian forms on those representations, but what's natural is to make the forms have poles. If you normalize them to be 1 on the spherical vector, then what will happen is that at reducibility points there will be poles. And this definition of Jantzen filtration makes perfectly good sense with poles. You know, it's just you get negative levels in the filtration. So the Jantzen filtration for W0 rho is just with minus signs. I mean, it's exactly the same.
You just reflect that picture.
Yeah, but
yeah.
that still gives, you know, in between there'll be some mixture of poles and zeros, and it's a really cool question.
So, is it obvious when I make a mistake? If you take rho and W0 rho, they are kind of dual modules to each other.
Yeah.
So you would, at least in that simple case,
Yes.
you will get a, and of course I understand, in between other W's you get, interesting. Life is interesting.
Yes, indeed.
And what if you take different directions defining the Jantzen filtration?
So there are some comments in the Valence and Bernstein paper more or less saying that the filtration is the same if you take any legal direction for defining it.